观众朋友们，大家好，欢迎您收看华尔街多媒体，我是康璐，现在是在纽约证券交易所为您带来最新的交易员采访报道。我们今天有幸请到了史蒂夫先生来分享一下最新的交易点评。Hi Steve, it's glad to have you here.
Glad to be here.
So first of all, the U.S. market is really pleasant today. So what is the market digesting right now?
You know what happened? We had positive PMI numbers this morning out of China, out of the UK, out of Germany, out of the Eurozone, and it pushed the markets higher globally as you move west, and U.S. futures markets higher this morning. As we got here, we got our own data. We have our ISM number, which is comparable, sort of comparable to those other numbers. It's a manufacturing number, and it wasn't quite exactly what we expected, but it was well within consensus range, and it was up from last time. It was actually the high of several months. So it was a positive. It was taken as a positive. You see where we are now. We've come up against 1327 a couple times today in the Standard & Poor's 500. And we're right there now. I have a 1329 level real close, so I don't think it's going to go far real quick. But we're trading at nice levels today.
And according to the latest news, actually in general, both GM and Ford, their general sales is not as good as expected. And also on the other hand, some lawmakers gave pressure on Obama, saying that U.S. should restrict importing auto parts from China. Do you think that's going to help car industry in U.S.?
Well, okay, the numbers are a little light for the car makers today, but you know, the last few months, the numbers have been real good. I mean, the reason consumer credit was so much higher than expected back in November was because of car sales. So, yes, car sales were very good for a while, and I guess they expected they'd be very good again today, but how many times can people buy cars? That's just not something people buy that often or lease that often. So, it was probably time for a hiccup in that industry. You got a little one here, it's not the end of the world. As far as the auto parts out of China, well, you know, that probably is part of our whole currency issue, which the president and other lawmakers have been bringing up. I think anytime you restrict free markets, you're probably going to run into a problem. I'm not a fan of restricting free markets, so I think if that's where the best parts offer the best price, then that's how they should trade. If that's not the best price or not the best parts, then don't go there, but let the free market decide.
And one of the biggest market focus today is Facebook may file to IPO as early as this morning. So what do you think the future of social media, and also do you think some social media company could grow as great as Apple in the future?
Well, obviously social media is growing leaps and bounds. I mean, there are several different companies out there, without naming any, that many people, we're all on, we all are members of, we all follow, we check it several times a day as if it's really important. Many companies use it as a tool to market. So there is definitely room for growth there. I mean, they derive most of their revenue from advertising at this point, but if companies are going to continue to use it as a way of marketing their employees, marketing their products, marketing their services, well, then obviously at some point down the road there'll be a way to charge for that. And I think it is an area that can grow.
But do you kind of worry about some kind of like tech bubble in the future? Will you buy Facebook or some other social media stock in the future?
Well, if I use the product and I thought it was good, then maybe I would buy it. But I'm not going to recommend buying it. I do think there's always the potential for a bubble, but we don't really know if it could be a bubble yet, because only one social media outlet I can think of is public here at the New York, and I don't know of any others that are public, so it's hard to say. Maybe there'll be one or two that are best in class. They'll have their own little bubble, and the other 4 or 5 will be left behind. That is possible.
Okay. Thank you for sharing today.
Oh, you're welcome.
好，感谢您收看今天的交易员采访报道，我们明天同一时间再会。